There's no set agenda that what is to be discussed or what is to be spoken here. So I thought I'd just share with you my thoughts on the concept of student entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship per se. So let's start with this. I'm glad that I was having a similar discussion with my friend Bhavesh behind me. And this thought crossed our minds together. That I'll take some cues from what Narayan also spoke. Student entrepreneurship. So if I segregate the two words, student and entrepreneurship. In our country, in our religion, not taking any names, but we are always focused, we are always pressurized to be a student. Forget the entrepreneur part. Okay, entrepreneur is for the babies. You're not there yet. Focus on getting marks, right? However, get it, whatever it takes. Study 12 hours, study 18 hours, don't sleep, don't eat, doesn't matter. But I want that 95%. I want that 98%. You slip compared to your cousin, you're dead. You slip compared to your building friends, you're dead. You don't get into the top B school, you're worthless. You don't get into the top engineering, you're a shame on the family. Isn't it? Isn't this common words that we probably all grown up with? We see it day to day around. I guess that's where, as a man also rightly pointed out, is where our society is failed, where our culture is failed. You know? So the reason I'm saying this, I went through this personally. I was probably 12 and I used to stay in Nepal, just opposite the Jew aerodrome. So as a kid, whenever I used to open the window, I used to see helicopters and runway, and I always dreamt to be a pilot. It would be so nice that you'd be responsible for 200, 250 people, taking them from one continent to the other. I went for this course, attended a seminar where they were inducting students, like getting into aviation, and I found that more than aspirants, already pilots were sitting in saying that, can we get jobs? If we've done 250 hours of flying, we've done 400 hours of flying, but we don't have jobs. That time we just had Jet and Air India way back in 96, 95. And that's when I realized that probably, is this a risky field to get into? Should I get into this or not? Because the Australian school is charging me 20 lakhs for a 2-year program. So, and I was highly discouraged that don't get into it. There are no jobs, worthless. Just follow your brother. He's an engineering, go to engineering. Look, he's getting placed in City Corp. He's going to go to New York next month. Forget all this. Just follow it. Don't track all this. This is worthless. People don't get into this. This is all for the biggies, for the rich holders who've got crores and crores in their bank and they can experiment with 20 lakhs. So don't worry. No guidance. Unfortunately, not high degree of internet penetration. Way back in 94, 95, where you just Google, you tap into it, you tap into somebody, take the knowledge part of it and move on. Right? That's when I realized that probably this is the path. Took it, became an engineer out of no choice, had to become. Right? Then started working, because that's what you're taught in engineering. That placement is your tag of success. So if you don't get placed, you're a shame on the college. It's embarrassing that we've coached you for 4 years and you've not got placed. So you live in that pressure for 4 years. When you start working, again, you get into the corporate rut. And at some stage I realized that how do I get the innovation part back at my work? Then the second step to my personal target was the entrepreneurship part. So all the projects that I do at work were all of innovation, that something that's never been done in the company, something that even the president doesn't believe. He feels that I don't know if it works or not. So let's see, let's get 3 times the opinion, let's get 4 times the opinion before working on it. But I had that zeal that let's do it. But the only safe haven over there was that the financial liability was not mine. So you could take that risk. I decided that how do I work back on the entrepreneurship side. So started working with committees like the CII, ISEC. Glad to have met Gaurav, and working on that. If because of some barriers, I probably didn't get the right direction and I didn't take the right step. So how is that the young age, who's very blessed? The reason I say blessed, because you got the power of knowledge at just one click. At just one click, you want to connect with anybody, you have to just type 3 words, www.google.com. That's it. You have to just type these 3 words. Whatever you want, right from making a nuclear bomb to the direction to the nearest kirana, everything is available. right? So that's the power of knowledge. That's the power of technology. Whatever you want, it's there. So I chose that how do I be a catalyst in this movement? Firstly, I would only recommend to my friends sitting here that make your parents and your family the first customer of your initiative. Buy their confidence that I have this concept. Please believe in it. As ma'am rightly said, that people invest in you and then the idea. So buy your family first, right? Buy doesn't mean by monetary terms, but buy their confidence that I have this idea. I want to do this. Allow me to do this. If it doesn't work, I'm responsible and I'm totally okay with it. There is no societal barrier, there's no shame, there's nothing of those concepts that exist in our culture and our religion. Just live your life, go ahead. Personally, I'm very glad to see Gaurav's dad here participating. I saw him here at 5 o'clock, helping him at every stage. So that is what is required right now. I'm sure it would have taken Gaurav some efforts to buy his dad's confidence that allow me to do this, isn't it, sir? That I want to, but once your parents sees faith in the child, I'm sure they will go that extra mile. But the reason I'm saying this, I failed to take that step. I didn't take that step because I thought, yeah, okay, parents, whatever they say, maybe I should do it. So I suppressed my feeling, suppressed my desires, thinking that they were incorrect, right? And I just blindly followed somebody whom I trust. I'm not regretting it, but I felt that this one stage, if somebody can overcome, probably can work wonders for you. It gives wings to your ideas and your thoughts. It gives you immense freedom of whatever you want to do, right? So first I would say that buy your family out, explain them, take them through it, show them that what is in your mind. It's okay, do a dry run with them, as ma'am said, proof of concept. Show it to them that why you want to do this and why not be probably what they have in mind for you. That's one. Second is, whatever product services you come up with. There was a question on the VC part. I often in programs get this question that funding is a problem, we don't get funds, I don't know how to approach a VC. My interaction with the VCs, and I feel that there are two parts. A, 9 out of 10 people don't know how to present their case. They just don't know how to present their case. And people lose confidence there and there. That if the gentleman sitting across the table is not clear of his product, why should I put money on him? As she rightly pointed out, that people put money on you and then the idea. So people are not confident. It's like this, we all go through this. Tomorrow there is an Amitabh Bachchan movie releasing, Amir Khan movie releasing. Everybody will put their money on the first day, first show. Will all of you will put the same money if Tushar Kapoor releases a movie? Why? You're putting money on the star cast and then the story, isn't it? So when a movie releases on Friday, nobody knows what the story is, but people what they say, if it is A, B, C actor, I'm sure it will be worth it. Or conversely, if it is C, D, E actor, it will be bullshit. Don't waste your money. But nobody's seen the movie, nobody knows what the story is. But we already made up our mind. Right? That's how the concept of VC works. You approach them, you're not confident of your idea, you're not able to put it across, 90% of the battle is lost there itself. You go again and again, your luck. Number 2, get a customer for your product first. It's easy to have a theoretical idea, but get a customer. So if I have an idea, let me find a customer, seek his inputs, seek his feedback. That if this product is given to you, what's the life cycle for it? How much are you ready to pay for it? How does it impact you? If I take this at a mass level, what kind of response do you think consumers will have? That will give you insight and confidence of your own product. So when you talk to somebody, it's not a diagram on a board. It's not a PowerPoint presentation. It's a live tested case. You know you've tested the ground reality. You know how things have worked. You know how consumers have responded to it. Automatically, by default, probably you would have made some changes in your product design. Unfortunately, a lot of ideas today that are generated are person dependent. A lot of ventures are person dependent, right? Classic example is Infosys. Mr. Narayan had to come back. The earlier entire board had to leave one by one. And the minute, just the announcement that Mr. Narayan is coming up, the stock shot up by 12%. Right? Just the announcement on Bombay Stock Exchange that Mr. Murthy is coming back. He's not even come back, he's not doing anything. But just the thought, oh, he's coming back, so it's great, it's going to work. Same happened to Tata Motors. There was the MD, Mr. Ravikant. He had moved on and there was another MD. Tata Motors was not doing well. So they chose to get Ravikant back. Just by the sheer news, there was a huge optimism in the ancillary business that Mr. Ravikant is going to come back. So the product design and everything will go. As my rightly pointed out about Israel, I have personally experienced leading companies from Israel. Today, all the companies that we're very proud of, the telecom, Airtel, Vodafone, Reliance, Idea, whatever, all their softwares are made by Israelis. The phones that we're using, the bills that we get at home are done by Israeli billing companies. You know that? All telecom companies, not just one. All are made by Israeli companies. The best of the roaming softwares, roaming is when you go abroad and you rely on a different network. The best of the roaming softwares are made by Israeli companies. And we call ourselves an IT nation. As she rightly pointed out, we are a service nation. All our IT companies are into services and not products. There's a difference between a product and a service. So we supply manpower who is extremely well trained on the various coding languages, who will customize the software as per your needs and give it back to you. The product is not mine. The product could be SAP, could be SED, could be Clarify, whatever. To be a programmer, the top talent is taken and put into the IT field only that this is the software, please make some changes, make it look the way you want it, and that's where your job ends. So I've noticed this, that all the telecom hardware is Chinese. Huawei, ZTE, Alcatel, Lucent, all telecom hardware is from there. Software is from Israel. Handset is either Korea, BlackBerry, which is Canada, Nokia, which is Finland, right? In this room, let me ask, how many of you are using Micromax? 2, 3, 4. Lava? I'm sure less than that. Okay. Carbon? I guess nobody in the whole vicinity. Right? That is what makes the difference. I'm not saying that I'm a culprit of that, even I don't use those phones. But the research that thrown up why Indian consumers are not going for Micromax and Lava is not because of technology, it's because of the faith that whether it is worth putting that money on that phone or not. Micromax, just for your knowledge, has got the best operating system technology has ever done. They got the best tablet, so to say, in the sub 10,000 category, in the sub 15,000 category, right? But you would still prefer to go for a 25,000, 30,000 iPad. Why not 15,000 Micromax? Because of our faith that this is really worth it. Should I put 15,000? What if it gets dysfunctional? Who will repair it? Where do I go? Forget it. I just need a tried and tested product. Or maybe it's a home quotient. Oh, I don't know, having an iPad and food. Micromax, no mere shakes, man. So, I guess that's the mindset change we need to bring in. And in a big way. That believe in what you do. Believe in what your products are. Right? Hugh Jackman, everybody's aware of Hugh Jackman, Hollywood star. How many of you know that he's the brand ambassador for Micromax? Right? So, as you rightly pointed out, the Make in India concept, yeah, I would say that make your own product. When you make your own product, first test it, have faith in it. That faith will get you driving to no end. That's my personal experience. When we designed the programs in CII, we came up with a program almost 2.5 years back called Waste Optimizing Project. There's waste that is generated, everywhere there's waste. There are recyclers who take that waste and give you money for it, and we call it kachra wala, or we call it bhangar wala, right? So there's a system, there's an organized system which will collect your waste and give you money for that. So in CII we came up with this project that how can we work on this, because waste is something that we need to work on. You know, it's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. A new dimension to waste has got added called the electronic waste. The phones that we throw, the hard disk that we throw, right? The disk that we throw. We came up with this concept of PPP, public-private partnership, where we roped in private companies and NGOs to train us, students of the leading colleges, and mind you, none of the engineering colleges participated because they thought it was too below their standard to participate in this kind of project. We have highly skilled people. That's not what we will not get into. You know? We want IT, we want technology. This is not our job. Yeah. So we got the best of the BCom and the BSc colleges. They participated. We wrote to the BMC, we wrote to privates that we will do this waste optimizing solution in your location and we guarantee you that you will get a high degree or better return on the petrol that you resell. We saw a 97% increase in the recycle value. And BMC used to audit that for every 3 months and 6 months in every quarterly basis. And they used to award that location that you have implemented the waste optimizing project which has severely impacted the environment, emission, and hence we award you for this location, for this implementation of project. What I learned in that whole thing, my confidence in that project only got me privates, only made me convince BMC that please participate with us. Because first she said that many of like you come in my office, jazzy NGOs, jazzy corporates, soon Sky, they don't know what to do. Ground reality is zero. Before we went to BMC, we implemented that in our own house, we implemented it for a year. We saw the results. So I had some data to take to the BMC head that this is the data, look at it, it works. Try it out for 3 months, 6 months, doesn't work, let's call it out, no problem. But what got working over there is that if you have some fact and figures that you have tested, is this example which is what I'm extrapolating as my feedback to you, that approaching VCs is not a problem. Getting funding is also not a problem, provided you're clear what your product is, provided you're confident of your product, provided you're clear what you want to tell them, where is that you want the money to go, where will the money go. Rest all is taken care of automatically. There are angel investors whom I talk to, and they always say that we get so many proposals that, sir, we would like to meet for this meeting. But when I ask them that who's your customer, I get a 10-paragraph page, this is my customer. I'm looking out for one single line, who's your customer? But I get a complete thesis, that's this is our customer. Says, I am not able to understand whom are you targeting? What is that you are selling? How will it help him? And why will he buy your product? Basic, simple questions. Extremely difficult answers. Right? What is your product? Whom are you selling to? Why will you buy it? 3 simple questions. And people give theses and theses on it. That's all, I have done this research, I have done that, this is my presentation, this is my data, this is global. They said, you're selling in India, you're giving global data. What do I got to do with it? How is it going to impact your locality, your product? Where is your market? So, just change the way you look at things. Just change the way, right? And first, believe in yourself. Believe, overcome the barriers by buying their confidence. Overcoming the barriers doesn't mean that you vote. You put them on a different stride and you say that this is all bullshit, I'll go ahead with it. Involve them. Co-create your product. Right? Involve your family, involve your friends, whom you trust, who support you. Sometimes financial support is not everything. You need emotional support. Things may go wrong, right? Money is not there, but who supports you? Your family, emotions. So it's an ecosystem. Single-handedly, surely you could probably do it. You could be very successful. Okay, that's good for you. But in the long run, it's a holistic approach that you take. The entire ecosystem has to develop along with you, not just you and your idea. Right? That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir spoke about change and